Have any of these factors been taken into account by the defence policy makers at this stage, and has industry responded at this stage in Australia?
I'm not seeing yet evidence of a significant sort of development of activity around these changing circumstances. That doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means that I don't think that I'm seeing signs of it yet, except to say that contrary to what governments have said up to this point about we don't really need a new white paper yet, the last one's only 2016. What we're hearing the commentators say is, yes, but it's already out of date. It already has changed so dramatically from what we were facing in 2016 that there is a need for a change. And the fact that, if my understanding is correct, that a force structure review is about to kick off in defence, then the beginnings of a response to this would appear to be there at the moment. But this could potentially precipitate a profound change compared with the way we've done business in the past. And if you look at the Navy that I joined as a for instance, the Air Force is slightly different, the Army different for other reasons, but the Navy that I joined is very, very similar in every respect to the Navy of today. There have been some changes. Big amphibious ships are a significant change, but we used to have an aircraft carrier. So how big is that change really? Well, we used to have 2 aircraft carriers. That change in and of itself is perhaps not substantial, and if you understand the reasons behind that, they're not that substantial either. That has everything to do with humanitarian assistance and disaster relief in our near region. It doesn't really have as much to do with the expeditionary amphibious assault type capability that gets spoken about. So what I'm getting at there is that over the last 45 years, there has been an incremental improvement, but we've generally done replacements of what we had before with a more modern and more capable version of the same thing. The Air Force has taken on some new capabilities that are very significant and certainly make it much more capable as an Air Force, but it's still very small. And the Army has tended to struggle to modernise in so many ways because of the fact that the large bulk of the money has gone to the big expensive platforms in Air Force and Navy. So what we've done post-Vietnam, downscale the Army and sort of progressively modernise, but with the same sorts of essential capabilities to go for this thing called a balanced force. I must say I'm less and less drawn to the notion of a balanced force because I don't think that it actually works in the context or works well enough in the context of, okay, so how are we going to do this if we're by ourselves more? I think there's a need for a more focused force because the balanced force concept has given us a whole bunch of small numbers of lots and lots of capabilities. The Australian Defence Force, from a capability perspective, is very sophisticated. But every little bit of it is little, and some of them are probably below critical mass. I would say the submarine force is below critical mass. 6 is not enough to be a sustainable, reliably sustainable force, and I think our long experience has shown that to be the case. I'd say arguably 10 is the minimum, 12 is better. Can we afford that? Well, we seem to think that we can. We seem to be prepared to. But that's equally true elsewhere too, that there's lots and lots of quite capable bits and pieces that are very small in numbers. So if you're going to have a balanced force, that's what you get, more or less. But where you live in an environment where your technology does not give you the capability edge necessarily, especially in the numbers we're talking about, you need to think differently about that. You need to think about, okay, so what do we focus our effort on? Where do we focus the spending? What capabilities are really important to us that might give us the effect of creating a deterrence in the mind of a potential aggressor? And, you know, one of the things I'd say that is really important there is the ability to reach out and hit someone. A lot of what we have is focused on defending, taking the incoming fire. Our air warfare destroyers are very good at defending against air attack. They're less good, much less good, at reaching out and hitting someone. And if you want to deter someone from interfering with you, being able to reach out and touch them and hurt them, seriously bloody their nose and water their eyes, that creates a deterrent effect.